Let's go for a little walk and talk. So I've been wanting to bring other people in the end-of-life field and related fields to this channel. Well, you could argue that everything is related to death, but let's not get into that right now. The whole purpose of this channel is to educate and to create a community where it's safe to ask questions about death and talk about it openly. And those pockets of the internet do exist, but I suppose I want to be involved in cultivating that, much like my drive to create the center, the physical hub for end-of-life conversations and resources for my community and beyond. For whatever reason, this kind of thing is just what I gravitate towards, making a space for people to talk about things. Anyway, so a few days ago I went to meet up with a fellow death professional named Lizzie. I had actually been aware of her for some time because I came across an interview she had done through the BBC around 2018. At the time, I didn't even have plans to move to England at all, so it was sort of surreal going to meet up with her after having been made aware of the work she does those years ago when I was in a completely different space, in a completely different time in my life. So many things have changed. Dreams have been realized, practices have been deepened, lessons have been learned, and now here I am following a map to Salisbury, where we met up. So let me know how you like these videos where I go meet other people in the death space. And I'll see you later. Oh, it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
And you.
Emily.
Sorry, you're in the way.
Nice
Sorry.
teeth.
Oh, thank you.
Say hi.
Hi.
I'll have a flat white. What's yeah? Thank you. Hi, Lizzie.
Hi, Emily.
You can just talk to me and
Okay.
then
All right.
it's
So-
less awkward to look
Okay.
into the camera.
Oh, okay. So I'm Lizzie Neville.
Okay, you're just going into
Should I
it.
just go for it?
Yeah.
I'm Lizzie Neville, and I live in Salisbury, Wiltshire, and I'm an end-of-life doula.
And you call yourself an end-of-life doula, or are there other things that you say that you are?
Yeah, end-of-life practitioner. It is, you know, it's whatever. I meet somebody on their terms,
I see.
so it's what they are comfortable with.
Energetically, if they're having some discomfort that you feel, would you tend to say practitioner?
Yeah, or community support.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, they don't want to hear end of life.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people stray away even from the word death, the D word. Death doula. A lot of people say end of life doula, don't they?
That's it, yeah. And it's so final. And
Yeah.
actually, we're all about living.
Exactly.
So it's really,
we are.
It's so odd, isn't it? Yeah. It's, you know, when I go in and I visit a family, the first thing I say is, what do you love doing? And they're not ready for that. They're thinking, you know, what should I be doing? Should I be still in bed? Should I not go to
Right.
the cinema anymore because I'm dying?
Right.
It's like, no, get out there. If you've got energy, get out there and do it. What is it
Absolutely.
you want? Let's do it.
There's the saying, you're living until you're dead.
Absolutely.
You're living until the moment that you die.
Yeah.
So.
And that moment of death is seconds, minute, 2 minutes, whatever. So, and if you think about it, you're listening as well, so you can hear as you're dying.
Yeah.
So, having somebody say, I love you, or thank you, or in some cases, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
or I forgive you, or things like that, are huge things near the end of life.
Absolutely, and that's why we really champion not to talk about the person, even if they seem incapacitated, not to talk about them in front of them or say nasty things in front of them when you think that they can't hear you.
Yeah.
Because chances are they might be hearing you.
Yeah. It's a funny thing when death comes along with dementia. It's almost like, in some cases, it disappears for a while, and suddenly that person that you knew from all that time ago is back with you,
Yeah.
that sort of Lazarus
Yeah.
effect. And you have that beautiful gift.
Yeah.
Now, it's not only with dementia, it's also with people who are dying, maybe not, have been very sleepy,
Yeah.
and non-communicative for maybe a week, 2 weeks, something like that. Suddenly they, eyes bright as a button, chat, 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 and you think, oh wow, and then they go to sleep again.
It's that like 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's like transitioning, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah.
And that's fascinating to watch people doing that. And for some people it is, I go in and visit, I come back. When my own mother was dying, she was doing this. And she was going to different levels. And
Like
so,
deeper and deeper, and then coming back.
So the way she described it, she'd say, I'm going to the pink level, I'm going to the green level.
Oh wow, she called it levels.
Yeah, levels.
Wow, interesting.
And she was picking out which level she wanted to go to. And when she was ready, she's like, right, go to this level, and this person's going to meet me.
Wow.
So it was a wonderful experience, although heartbreaking and still heartbreaking. I'm not going to say it's fantastic, it's not. It hurts. But it was lovely to be able to talk to her about it openly and say, where did you go tonight? What were the sounds? Who did you meet? Was there a smell? All these sorts of things. And I think, gosh, I've benefited from that.
Yeah.
As a person, not as a doula, as a person.
Right.
And if I could get others to talk about that to their family members.
Well, I think it's that fear of not being validated also. Like, so many of us, our first gut reaction would be, what are you talking about, Mom? You're on too many drugs or something, They don't ask a question like, oh, what did it smell like, or what did it look like, or who was there? Because in a lot of people's minds, that's just a hallucination or some kind of, drug-induced, I don't know, like a dream. Yeah. So I think it's huge just validating what they're going through, and because that's what they're going through, that's where they're at. Why not get on their level? Yeah. And inquire. Yeah. And it sounds like you were benefited from that as well.
Hugely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're an end-of-life doula, an end-of-life practitioner. And what else do you want to say about yourself before we get into it?
What normal things that I do? Or actual
Sure.
work?
What about one hobby?
One hobby, cooking. I love cooking. So baking, really.
Okay, baking.
So cakes and puddings and all the bad stuff that everybody says you should eat. I love it. Crumbles and cream and custard. And sometimes when I think you've really eaten enough cakes, I just think, oh, but tomorrow.
What's your favorite cake?
It is a cinnamon swirl.
Oh, yum. That sounds good. Is there like a crumble on top of it?
No. It's sometimes icing.
Okay. Like a cinnamon bun, but in a cake.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want that.
It's lovely. I just love those.
I like carrot cake. I know that's really kind of boring, but I love carrot cake. We're going to talk to both of us now.
Okay. Do you want me to come in a bit?
Yeah, maybe. So I was thinking that since we have two doulas here, we would try to make a video that's maybe educational. I don't know, we were brainstorming, weren't we? We were saying, what should we make a video about? And Lizzie was saying, well, say what you said to me.
What families and communities really want in death and dying. So it's all very well known why we wanted to start being doulas, but actually, what is it that you really need? Most of the time when people come to us, it is because they're on their knees, they're exhausted, and there's a certain degree of fear.
It's a crisis.
Yeah, it is. They're just at their wits' end. They don't know what to do. There's not enough support out in the community to help them through this. And so that's where a doula comes into it, where they can come in and it's a constant. So when we go in, what you get all the way through the journey.
It's a constant thread of someone who understands, someone is there taking care of you. Basically, excellent customer support.
It is, and there's no judgment. So a lot of people, the first thing when I go into somebody's home is they'll say, I'm really sorry about the mess. And I was like, you've got enough on your plate. Why are you
Yeah.
even worrying about this? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you're taking that edge off straight away, that you are not there as an official person. You are not there with a clipboard, and you're not going to tick boxes.
Yeah.
You are there to support that family. And I look at it as layers of an onion. So when I go into a family, so you've got the front top layer, which is that
The skin.
sort of you know, fear and the exhaustion. Right, peel that off. Then what have you got? You've got family all around you. So how are they all feeling? How are they all communicating? And you know, quite often you have to be the one that's communicating to all the family, because typical families, and it's normal families, X isn't talking to Y, but they are children of the person who's dying, and they all need to know. So you're not taking sides.
Yeah, or some kind of money thing is going on. That's such a common one, is fights over the disbursement of the estate or whatever.
Yeah. So you're there as a neutral, you are there as a bridge, and you're a bridge to the family, and you're also a gateway for the medical teams, the community staff. You can be there so that, you know, everybody wants to know, how is so-and-so when they're dying. Just a quick phone call, or you're about the 5th or 6th person in the last hour to call for just a quick phone call and just a quick update. And it's really tiring for the family to keep having that conversation over and over and over again. So there's lots of ways that the doula can deal with it. There are websites that you can use where you send one email and it goes out to everybody. You can just say to somebody, don't ring. We'll ring you when there's an update. So it's
or even like making a Facebook group. And we were talking about the hierarchy of where people die, which I thought was really interesting.
This is huge, isn't it? So it's a bit like birthing, really, isn't it? In death, it is, you know, ultimate goal, die at home, in your bed.
Die at home.
Die
It's a good death. Die at home.
Oh, the sun's shining and the birds are tweeting and all of that
Yes.
sort of thing. It doesn't work for everybody. So if you're looking after somebody who's dying and you're there on your own and their pain management is really quite tough, hospital might be the best place for them.
Right, because otherwise you're going to be on the phone with the district nurse or the hospice team saying, can I please get more morphine right now?
That's it.
Because we need more. And your loved one is writhing around in pain, traumatic.
That's it.
Yeah.
So never feel that you have failed if your loved one dies in hospital. It's, you know,
Right.
There are hospices that you can go to as well, care homes. You know, not. You can try and make things a little bit more easier. So bring a little bit of home into the hospital.
Absolutely.
So
Fix the lighting.
Yeah.
Get some good smells in there.
That's it. It is photographs.
Photos.
It is play some music that the person loves. Society pushes so much pressure on us that not only do you have to have a perfect birth, you've got to have a perfect death. And there is no such thing as a perfect birth or death.
Yeah.
It is individual for anybody. So, yeah, what's right for you might not be right for the next person. Even your family members, they're completely different.
Yeah. So the point is, it's not automatically a bad death if you die in a hospital, or a good death if you die at home. It's just the right thing for the person dying and their families. And I love this topic because around my training there was a lot of talking about how dying in a hospital is so bad, and like the bad thing to do and the less ideal option. And I just feel like, how can you say that? How can you even put a hierarchy on that?
It's circumstances with all of it.
Yeah.
And it's also, it puts pressure on the family. So I'm an end-of-life doula. I'm very happy to talk about death and dying. Where would I like to die? Probably in a hospice. And they're like, well, you're a doula, you should be at home in your bed. And I know, for me, yeah, that would be great. But for my family,
Yeah.
that would
A
just
nightmare.
do them in completely. Be like,
Yeah.
I can't even go in that
Yeah.
room again. Because that's the things that people
Yeah.
forget. Is
Yeah.
that when somebody dies in a room, it's very difficult for
Right.
those living afterwards to go in there.
Yeah, because they have seen their loved one die in there. They have that memory, and that's, you know, that's not easily forgotten about.
No, it isn't, and
Yeah.
it takes years for somebody
Yeah.
to walk back in that room again. And so I don't want that for my family. I want them to live at home it's a place of love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how. I mean, they're used to me talking about death and dying. They see it every day on my desk and the things I'm talking about. But it's not for them.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So I won't be dying at home.
Well, I'm sure we could talk a lot more about a lot of more topics, but I'll switch the camera off now and we'll just.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything? Big thank you to you, Lizzie. Thank you so much for meeting me here, and I'm sure we'll see each other again.
It's been great. Thanks, Emily. See you again.
Bye. There was one moment we were talking about embalming. Basically, body's rotting, and I'm just thinking, wow, if anyone's kind of tuning into this conversation, what must they think? It's a rare occasion, and it's really nice. I know you guys want a review of these cheese-flavored seaweed crisps, so I'm gonna give you one. They look like this. It's really good.